So wow, so I have to start off this video with an apology. I forgot the damn rage moves in the previous videos. That is embarrassing. I cannot believe that I did that. If you're wondering, I like to wait to look at those towards the end, but rage moves are listed at the top of the move list, so I always have to constantly remind myself to go back and look at them, and I clearly forgot here. But that being said, this will still be a fairly short video, but I felt it was important to go over these because rage moves are just important. They're just important in Tekken. Now, luckily for me, Ganryu's super, at least, isn't crazy special like, say, Paul's was. The two notable things for Ganryu's super, first is that it has good range, so it'll hit somewhere, that might be a little too short, somewhere around 3.3. So I think this should hit. Oh, just barely whiffed. 3.2? Oh, there we go. That one should. Oh, I think Ganryu's stance is messing with it. Like the other Ganryu's. There we go. Okay, he blocked it, but yeah, so it's a little over 3, which is really really good range actually for a super. But it also hits low to the ground, so you might have noticed when he whiffed it. So it hits really low, like he almost goes to the floor. So it'll hit in some situations where it doesn't look like it should. So with that out of the way, his rage drive is a bit more interesting. So the input is down forward 1+4. A lot of people like to compare it to Jack's rage drive because it's an I-23 startup, so it's like right on the borderline of seeable. But if you set it up right, it can still be hard to see. It can connect with people because your opponent can be focused on other things. So if they're just a little bit distracted or a little bit thinking about something else, you can sneak it in. Now, that being said, what does it do? How does it work? So first, it's a 2-hit move. The first hit being low, the second hit being mid. It's a natural combo, of course, but it's important to keep in mind that he will always go into tie automatically on hit, whiff, or block. The whiff part is noteworthy because it's a lot shorter range than it looks. Again, this goes back to the sort of setup element, but like, yeah, we're like barely, okay, that's like max range right there. So it's a little beyond 2 is the range, so not super good for reasons that we'll go into in a minute. But anyway, if you don't set this up well, it's just as likely to whiff as it is to get blocked. So the second thing is that if it gets blocked, it's -6, which is really bad considering that you're forced to go into stance. Most of his other tie transitions that we talked about are plus on block, but none of them are as bad as -6. And this is bad because the quickest move that he has out of tie is tie 1, which is I-11, meaning that it's only going to beat something that's slower than 17 frames. Now you can try to use the Power Crush as well, tie 1+2, but the armor doesn't activate until frame 8, so it'll still only beat moves 14 frames or slower. Even worse, your opponent is left in full crouch, and there aren't many while standing moves that are high, so trying to sit there and hope that their move goes over you is not the best bet to be making. Now, depending on how well you know your opponent will also determine what you do here. If you have enough life, it's probably best to go for the Power Crush. That way, if they try to launch you with a mid or a high, you'll absorb, try to launch you, with a mid or a high. You'll absorb it and hopefully you'll get the hug. Once that dynamic has been set, they'll be forced to stick with quicker moves like while standing 4. Now, obviously this won't work with characters like Kazuya or Josie who can launch you at 13 frames, but it's at least an option for characters that don't have that. If they try to get tricky and do some kind of low, assuming they have a good low from full crouch, remember that you have the low parry, which is down forward 1+2 out of tie. Whoop. But enough of the bad stuff. What if it hits, out in the open? So, well, out in the open, you'll normally just want to take the free headbutt, which is tie forward 1+2. It's the most damaging option, and you'll get roughly 60 damage total, which is about juggle damage, so not too shabby at all. Now, if you're next to the wall, you might want to consider doing tie 3 instead. So you sacrifice some damage, so obviously if the headbutt will kill, do that. But tie 3 keeps you standing and recovers quickly enough that you're still on the offense with, like right in their face, which is really important if you're trying to make a comeback. If you do the headbutt, you're going to be left on the ground, they're going to get up, and they're actually going to be on the offense. So you're still going to get like into the 50s as you saw there, and with the additional Oki, it just gives you a much better chance to make a comeback. Now it also slams in a juggle, so you can beef up the damage of a juggle that way too, but you still have to worry about the range issue, so I can give you a couple examples here. So this one, pretty easy, just a quick dash. And because there's only 3 hits before the spin, it's not too tough to hit. But like if we do any more hits than that, it starts to get real dicey like that. It'll just whiff. If I wait much longer than that, it'll the first hit will just whiff because it's on the slow side. So just kind of keep that in mind if you're going to try to do it in a juggle. Now you can also do this at the wall, but it's very particular about what it's going to give you because of how far they fall, how far they slide down. So like if we do like a normal hit with this, they can tech roll that. The second hit will never hit. But if you do something goofy like that, whoops, we did one too many kicks. If we use a single kick, like that'll hit because they're stuck to the wall for longer. So you just kind of have to keep that in mind when you're testing stuff. It is a way to beef your wall damage if you really want to, but just kind of keep that in the back of your mind that you should be practicing some juggles at the wall and whatnot and situational stuff before you just decide that you should do that. So anyway, yeah, not a huge topic, but his rage drive is definitely something your opponent has to be aware of. Big damage lows are always going to be scary. So this is something that should be in your toolkit for your essential moves. Just again, be sure to set it up a little bit. Otherwise, you're just asking, for them to block it on reaction. Now I'm going to end this video with a couple of current event items. So if you're watching this way in the future, this is probably not going to be relevant to you. But this week I won't be able to get a full-fledged guide video done. I had a class start up, and without knowing what the workload was going to be, I won't have enough time to record and edit a normal guide video. I was hoping I would, but this past weekend was just busier than I thought it was going to be, so it just couldn't happen. The good news is that I now know what the workload will look like for these classes, so I can better schedule and manage my time to get those guide videos up. That being said, of course, we have this video, but Thursday, which is here in a couple of days, I'm going to do another vault video, so it's kind of the random tech stuff. Hopefully that'll hold you over until the weekend, and then I should be able to get the next guide video out by Sunday night at the latest, so the first part of the next character. And that's all I got for now. So you guys know the drill by now. Twitch, Twitter, all that. Links in the description below. Consider tossing some coins to your boy through Patreon. It'll help keep this stuff going and improving. And that's it. I appreciate you all, and have a good one.